Welcome back to our channel, the place where hidden chapters, royal secrets, and the stories the palace won't publish finally come to light. Today, we bring you a breaking news. Harry goes nuclear, after Meghan's Steamy Yacht photos with Prince Andrew leak. A fresh story describes a significant spike in royal family relations after Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, was supposedly insulted. The comment implied a link between Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew, Duke of York, critics said. The speech made at a private London social gathering has apparently sparked a communications crisis at Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were reportedly distressed by the claim at their Montecito, California residence. This episode effectively brings together several royal controversy threads: Sarah Ferguson's public rehabilitation after previous scandals, Meghan Markle's renewed interest in her life before marrying into the royal family, and Prince Andrew's poisonous association with Jeffrey Epstein. Located in London's Mayfair neighborhood, the claimed assault took place during a private event. Mayfair's hotels, private member clubs, and townhouses have hosted dinners, intimate receptions, and social evenings when opinions can be heated. People in these contexts often bounce between self-reminiscences, current events rumors, and keen remarks, which can have great impact. Sources say the Duchess of York stated something provocative that linked Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew, scaring the other guests into silence. Several reports state Meghan was Andrew's first client, with a business undertone. When the comment was made, onlookers reported tension in the room. Participants reportedly saw the comment's potential repercussions immediately. This is crucial. These media did not portray the comment as a joke or slip of the tongue, but it was thought to have been meticulously formulated to strike hard. The complaint claims the private party's rumor quickly traveled to the royal administration's inner workings. Royal advisors and courtiers reportedly initiated high-level conversations over the unverified accusation within hours. The narrative claims Buckingham Palace advisors and communications personnel panicked as they assessed the situation and decided what to do. They were most concerned about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's long-running PR issues and Prince Andrew's guilt over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which they feared would merge. When these two major scandals were urged to be publicly combined, palace strategists seeking to minimize reputation damage faced larger risks. The story explores how this knowledge is spread inside and outside the royal bubble. At the heart of the royal household's hierarchical communication system are official briefings, private notes, and carefully planned speeches. Family members and their entourages implicitly agree on what is and isn't public. In that architecture, private secretaries, press officers, and senior courtiers decide which private issues become public. If it happens, a semi-private moment can weaken discipline. Living rooms and private parties can now be shared online and in tabloids. The palace's crisis teams have had to adjust from one-way broadcasts to social media photojournalism and informal networks that spread misinformation. To understand how a casual comment might cause institutional terror, study modern rumor propagation. A single claim can travel swiftly from an attendee or secondary source to a private chat group, a microblogging site, gossip pages, and tabloid feeds. Because algorithms value engagement and salience, angry, disgusted, or shocked content gets more views and shares. Many partisan commentators and important persons misrepresent and exaggerate facts to support their viewpoints, sometimes using fake proof. Traditional media channels compete for viewers and may publish news with varied verification levels. Thus, it wasn't the personal insult that mattered, but how easily the claim might be converted into a public narrative that may damage the monarchy's image. Prince Harry was reportedly furious and confused by the revelation. The Duke of Sussex was very troubled by the charge, especially since Sarah Ferguson, a relative he has known since childhood, was the supposed source. The claim was seen as a personal betrayal and a criticism of his wife. Meghan Markle apparently took a hiatus from public appearances, canceling or rescheduling several of her planned events, as her staff analyzed the situation and anticipated additional developments. Despite discussing the issue privately, the couple struggled to respond publicly or legally because it originated in the family. Understanding Sarah Ferguson's role in royal ecology may assist you understand the statements. The Duchess of York has always had a complicated and sometimes contentious role in the monarchy. Her 1986 marriage to Prince Andrew brought her considerable popular love, but a series of scandals and financial problems in the 1990s tarnished her reputation for reasons that did not necessarily benefit the royal family. Despite their 1996 divorce, she and Prince Andrew remained close living at Windsor's Royal Lodge. In subsequent decades, Ferguson has been sidelined and then embraced being excluded from important family events and permitted to return to more prominent public roles. Her ideas are shaped by her dual function as an insider with deep royal life experience and an outsider free from family work customs. Ferguson's public activities include writing books, humanitarian assistance, and building resilience in the face of personal and public disasters. Her history gives her unique authority. She understands personal things others don't and can talk about anything without etiquette. Her views, especially when spoken in semi-private settings where they may be leaked, are often given undue attention since they may be considered royal family opinions. Many have speculated on her motivations for making the accusation from anger toward Prince Andrew to audience manipulation. The biggest charge is Meghan Markle's Hollywood acting career before becoming a royal. Before meeting Prince Harry, Markle wanted to work in television and movies like many other actors. At this period, she built professional networks and opportunities. Many online forums and tabloids have been spreading rumors about Markle's yachting days. This refers to her alleged involvement with exclusive yacht parties in beautiful places like the Mediterranean, where she may have met famous and wealthy people. Such wording implies that these social relationships were transactional, encouraging links between strong men and others seeking progress or companionship for money introductions or professional possibilities. These unproven claims have been strongly denied by Duchess allies and supporters. Advocates allege Markle attended VIP parties on private boats based on a few images and social media posts. Some conspiracy-minded online threads have utilized her Panama hat in one of the widely shared photographs as a motif. Some web accounts have mentioned Karina Shuljak as a former acquaintance of Jeffrey Epstein figures, and another photo has implied that she is close to high-profile scandal figures. These visual clues are ambiguous, but critics have cobbled them together to infer Markle was in the same social circles as Prince Andrew and others engaged in the Epstein scandal. Highlighting these creations' interpretive leaps is crucial. Photos are static and social media posts are ambiguous, making them hard to authenticate and leading to misattribution, misdating, and virality. Speculation-focused online ecosystems connect unrelated enterprises. The rhetorical approach is to exploit closeness and coincidence to prove intended relationship, then play up the inference until it becomes a story. A single family insider's word can have far-reaching effects because it combines seemingly disparate stories and gives them weight and consistency. The Duchess of York's alleged comment becomes combustible in this hypothetical and mostly unconfirmed context. Apparently calling Meghan a client of Prince Andrew raises more questions than it answers about her early social life. It attempts to link Markle to the Duke of York, placing her in Epstein's ethically and legally hazardous orbit. That view sees the relationship as more than simply a delicious nugget. It recalls the worst royal scandals of our time and threatens to revive the public outcry the monarchy had hoped to suppress. Reviewing Prince Andrew's public life and demise helps understand the consequences of his name. As Air Miles Andy, a British trade ambassador who traversed the world in quest of exotic destinations and made friends with worldwide billionaires, the Duke of York lived a lavish life with private jets, villas, and yachts. His small elite social circle was largely influential and wealthy. That jet-set world collapsed when his association with Jeffrey Epstein was revealed. Jeffrey Epstein, a financier with a history of sex offenses, was arrested in 2019 for federal sex trafficking. After an apparent suicide, he was ruled dead in jail that year. Virginia Giuffre and others claimed that Prince Andrew had frequently pressured her into sexual relations as a child, while in Epstein's inner circle. Prince Andrew has consistently denied the charges. However, his November 2019 BBC Newsnight interview to clear the air was universally panned. After that interview entrenched public disapproval, he departed from his duties. He resolved a U.S. case launched by Virginia Giuffre in 2022, but the terms were classified and did not admit guilt. The late Queen Elizabeth II withdrew his military ties and royal patronages. Still, the episode ruined his and the monarchy's reputation. Mentioning him with intimate gatherings, yachting clubs, or young women brings back the Epstein issue and damages his reputation. Watching how the palace handled Andrew is instructive. The Newsnight interview and aftermath highlighted how badly conceived communications may turn factual or legal arguments into disastrous PR stunts. Repeated findings that raise judgment and accountability issues can weaken the monarchy's institutional gravity, ceremonial continuity, and moral authority against media storms. These dynamics explain why the palace might be frightened by a minor false claim linking another monarch to Andrew. The palace learned the hard way that even partial scandal ties can spread. Marcus Anderson appears in many publications about Meghan Markle's high social connections. Canadian hospitality consultant Anderson is Soho House's global director. Soho House is known for its stylish invitation-only residences in major cities. Famous people can meet and mingle in relative obscurity at Soho House, a sanctuary for artists, fashion media, and entertainment professionals. Its main idea is selective access. Paying clients can meet new individuals, collaborate together, and have important conversations in private. Anderson may have known Meghan Markle before she became a royal. He is thought to have set up Meghan and Prince Harry's 2016 Soho House blind date, introducing them. Anderson plays a conventional connector in stories about Markle's ascension through British high society, connecting the royal family to a California-based television actress. Some have exploited this plot point to link Markle's social ascent to Prince Andrew. The alleged Sarah Ferguson comment expands on these links. Anderson may have introduced Meghan to the Duchess of York a few years back at a private Soho House gathering. If confirmed, Meghan's first royal contact would occur years before her affair with Prince Harry made her famous. Supporters of the narrative have shared an early 2000s photo of Marcus Anderson online. The image shows Prince Andrew purportedly talking to the man. Third parties have not verified its legitimacy or identities. However, for those who believe in links, Anderson may have known the Duke of York before he became friends with Meghan, which might explain how they met. Even when people are social connectors, they don't necessarily indicate crime or conspiracy. Not all acquaintance networks are collaborative. Casual conversations or introductions at a party are not enough to prove wrongdoing. The apparent comment's persuasive force comes from packing three diverse concepts: network links, casual acquaintance, and alleged exploitation into one startling allegation, making the distinction between them all the more important. This collapse lowers the evidentiary hurdle by equating inference with verification. Observers and royal experts have offered varying theories about the Duchess of York's reasons for making the comment, assuming it was said. These assumptions are based on Ferguson's background, her turbulent relationship with the organization, and the strategic opportunities of a visible public figure insider. Many believe the comment was retaliatory. Newer figures like Meghan Markle enjoyed worldwide adulation, lavish ceremonial pageantry, and a platform that brought international attention, but Ferguson was excluded from the royal circle for long periods of time, mostly due to senior figures who supposedly never fully forgave her for the 1990s scandals. Ferguson was upset about being overshadowed by newer royals and made her alleged comment to hurt, undermine, and re-establish her relevance by dragging down someone who had momentarily been more prominent. Another interpretation sees the comment as strategic leverage. Ferguson might demonstrate her access to private information and her willingness to exploit it by making a bombshell claim, especially one that combined two of the monarchy's most poisonous myths. Due to her close association with Prince Andrew and her time in the royal family, she may have access to political data. According to this reading, her reply is a warning shot aimed to maintain her authority and show that her marginal status does not preclude her from harming her reputation. It indicates her disruptive potential. A third, more deliberate argument is that the statement was meant to distract from Prince Andrew to protect him from public scrutiny. Strategic communications involves throwing a dead cat on the table, a purposefully distressing move to shift attention from an existing issue to a more pressing one. Politicians that advocate surprising or dramatic interventions to affect the news agenda are often associated with the word. Ferguson may have linked Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew's issue to divert media attention from the Duke's heightened scrutiny to a fresh crisis involving two contentious figures. This move would not solve the problem, but it may confuse and undermine the storyline by transferring the public's wrath to other targets and reducing the attention on any one of them. Fourth, the comment may have come from a place where gossip is a commodity and entertainment rather than a conspiracy. Upper-class people often make ridiculous statements to justify their membership in an exclusive club. According to that idea, the comment may have been a rhetorical flourish aimed to startle and gain social authority. Even a joke with a dramatic meaning might have significant consequences if said in the wrong context, thus intention is not always better. Whichever motive is true, the purported comment displays a keen understanding of modern media ecosystems. This accepts that political commentators, social media, and tabloids can exaggerate strategically placed allegations, especially those made by insiders in leak-prone situations, resulting in disproportionate influence with little to no immediate culpability. Ferguson appears to have learnt how to use partial facts as a weapon and hide behind plausible deniability from her years at the intersection of royal protocol and tabloid sensationalism. The comment was reportedly made to disrupt the narrative, whether to settle a personal score, obtain leverage, or protect a family member. The episode's biggest impact is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's friction, according to The Insider. The couple struggled emotionally in their Montecito home, weighing the accusation's consequences against their scant options, reports said. Prince Harry struggles because he must choose between protecting his wife and being loyal to his family. They wanted to avoid a public quarrel with a family member, since it could turn into a long, unpleasant, and public brawl. The statement raised Meghan Markle's earlier charges, which she has avoided discussing and her supporters say are false, unfair, and aim to tarnish her. The Sussexes replied by maintaining strategic silence as advised by crisis management. Public engagements were delayed and no statement was issued to escalate the accusation. Refusing to react can deny the rumor the oxygen of rebuttal, but it can also spread over social media and tabloid opinion without a firm denial, giving the sense that something is hidden. The couple's history of suing media outlets for privacy invasion and slander complicated their calculations. If a family member were sued, it might turn a rumor into an irreparable public breach and garner unprecedented media attention, overshadowing the original claim. Even though the Sussexes had legal recourse, intra-family disagreement dynamics allegedly made them feel restricted. Many legal concerns must be considered in such circumstances. International disputes involving prominent figures can be costly and difficult to resolve due to different defamation laws. UK legal reforms have balanced reputation protection with free speech, but the UK has typically been kinder to defamation plaintiffs than the US. If a public figure goes to court, they must assess how much evidence they'll need, how long discovery could take, and how much news coverage depositions and other disclosures could get. When a family member is held culpable, the emotional toll adds to legal and reputational issues. Litigation has moral and relational costs, but the fear of confidential information or testimony being leaked deters it. It takes a long time to resolve litigation, so a company's image may already be damaged online. Some groups reportedly kept quiet for weeks after the occurrence. Even after the initial attention faded and the news cycle moved on, the controversy's undercurrents continued. Sarah Ferguson resumed her public appearances in London, exhibiting calm and collectedness that may have given the impression of innocence or resilience. Skeptics would see such calmness as confirmation of a deliberate strategy handle material in partial situations where it could leak, then present a plausible deniability face. According to media and communications experts, these scandals follow a pattern. Someone makes a controversial claim. It spreads quickly through various media institutions, try to steer the conversation, and eventually people stop paying attention when other news stories come out. The experience is still fresh in my mind. Negligible events can impair a person's credibility by spreading doubt, encouraging inflated recountings, and fueling political players and rumor markets. The alleged comment linked seemingly unconnected royal issues. The comment seems to link Meghan Markle's past to the royal family's worst scandal reopening scars. It also reminded onlookers that the monarchy's isolation makes secrecy and privacy insecure. A whisper from an insider, especially one with access and a history of public scandal, can be as uncomfortable as an official disclosure because it sows uncertainty, compels defensive postures, and forces the institution to control perception as much as reality. Sarah Ferguson shows that power comes from having sensitive information and using it, not just official titles or active duty. This episode also shows how personal knowledge may give a marginalized person unique and ambiguous power. This paper suggests that she can influence narratives and change public view of the monarchy despite no longer being a senior royal. Although her response was brief, it refocused the family on topics they would prefer not discuss. Beyond the direct players, the experience affects how historical institutions manage reputational risk. The monarchy's strengths have been continuity, ceremonial, and moral propriety, but scandals can undermine these by casting doubt on its judgment, accountability, and ability to govern its members. The story also references a societal trend that views claims, especially those involving power vulnerability or sex, as morality tests, rather than legal procedures. There may be great motivations to respond immediately, but doing so too soon could worsen problems. The episode teaches a valuable lesson as the royal family faces its destiny. Under the ceremonial veneer, it reflects human history and unresolved problems. It also shows how vulnerable an institution is when its survival depends on well-regulated public discourse, and how much more vulnerable it is when insiders have the means and desire to destroy it. The most vulnerable members of close-knit, strong families often feel they have the least to lose. As outsiders, they may be less frightened to speak their thoughts or exploit their secrets, making them powerful agents of instability. Following such upheavals, several complex and diverse institutional responses may be suggested. There are several choices, from secret family therapy and mediation to public announcements, lawsuits, and altering public responsibilities and access. Each choice will have issues. Private mediation can maintain relationships but may be seen as evasive. Public rebuttal can restore clarity but may amplify the claim. And legal action can bring remedy but may inflame and prolong publicity. Palace planners will have to reconcile individual reputations with those of the monarchy in future scenarios. Improve media training for public-facing staff and those who maintain profile and proximity to the royal family, clarify access to high-level family members, and tighten semi-private event protocols. The public's interest in such stories has moral implications. Audiences love controversy and betrayal, but the characters may suffer emotionally and psychologically. Even unsubstantiated accusations can cause emotional suffering, reputation damage, and physical isolation from loved ones. The Sussexes have openly addressed press intrusion catastrophes and the psychological impact of severe scrutiny, increasing the probability of this happening again. Consider their past to understand why they would rather avoid aggressive public interactions than escalate the matter. Sensationalism draws attention and money, but its long-term implications on health and family are rarely considered. Technological advances complicate problems. Due to picture repurposing, date manipulation, and identity misattribution, photos and social media posts are less important than in earlier generations. Deepfakes, manipulated audio, and synthetic fabrications are raising the stakes by giving bad actors new means to fake support. Organizations must do more than monitor sources. They must build speedy verification procedures and educate the public about digital and visual proofs limits. This recent report's key claims future ramifications are unknown, but it serves as a sobering reminder that a single indiscreet comment by someone with access to confidential documents can cause turmoil in an organization that values discretion and control. Reputational landscapes are permeable because accusations can readily go from private talks to public headlines and back via social media. Besides the obvious concerns, rumor and leak dynamics complicate problems for organizations that rely on carefully constructed narratives. The episode focuses less on whether a statement is true and more on its implications, such as the fraying fabric of an old institution trying to make sense of today's media landscape, how complicated personal histories affect family dynamics, and how insiders may want to use partial knowledge strategically. How effectively the monarchy can withstand such shocks depends on its crisis response mechanism and ability to combine public duties with personal life. So long as marginal actors have personal information and a media environment wants reconciliation, there will always be the next disruptive whisper. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts, and goodbye for the time being.